Oh man, we in the game. All right, so it's sunny out. We get the UVs. That means we're getting downloads from the soul in the sky. UV rays are very good for us. They're not bad. All right. UV rays are not bad. Oh man, we got the title up in here, man. We're gonna jump up in there. We got the FBAs in the title. We got the GUANTAMA in the title. We got the, this is post-Sabbath too, post-Sabbath vibes. We just got off True Sabbath, last day. The moon was in Gemini. So, we're going with the organicness. We're not really rolling with anything that's manufactured any longer, dealing with religion and shit, I guess look at this boy, it's post-workout too. Well, my tire rolling through, we got the yellow butterfly over there. So, we in the game. We got the thugs. Say what's up. We got the thugs in the game. The light to the crown chakra. That's what we on. That's what everybody on. Shit. That's right and exact. Don't do that, y'all. Get my little pea protein. Post-workout vibe in the sun. Real clouds in the sky. Oh, that's beautiful. Love you, bro. And GUANTAMA. So when I say GUANTAMA, y'all probably wonder what the hell are we talking about with GUANTAMA, in America. What does GUANTAMA have to do with America? You have Guantanamo Bay, you got all that stuff, right? GUANTAMA is really is a name of North, South, and Central America. GUANTAMA. It's the land that's only known by all spirit, according to the Awaspi. The Awaspi was out already before false prophets came through and tried to teach you their said religions. So, we're going to keep everything, organically lined up. Everything is organic right now. We can't take anything man-made, false religion, no false charters, and none of that. We're naturally organic, Hebrews in GUANTAMA, which is America, GUANTAMA, you see names all around North, South, Central America. You hear GUANTAMA around. That's one of the names of America. You see the name FBA in there, in the title, FBA, just because there's a few people who talks about FBA, Foundational Black Americans. But in reality, niggas are foundational Americans. We got to kind of exclude the blackness because that's kind of setting us up in the trap, Peace. It's kind of setting us up. And we don't want to be set up as self-sabotaging. We got to remember we're still in a cluster B personality disorder state of thinking, and reacting. And also, we do have traits, and some of us are pathological, but when we use our traits to our advantage, we can be able to, pinpoint, the weaknesses in us as a whole, so we can agree on things. Celibacy comes into play because as a culture, we were, molested, by a lot of old pedophile men in the South, for sure, dealing with the whole plantation, prisoners of war. A lot of boys was molested at will. A lot of girls, a lot of wives, a lot of grandparents, grandma, things that they would do to us that it wasn't even called for. We wasn't even thinking like that, and because we were vibrating at a certain frequency. We were thinking of creativity, and getting in tune with the Most High, and so that these files that are being done, are being shown and revealed, that's already been happening to niggas for hundreds of years with these beings, and just under this type of mentality of a psychopathic, type of order. And so, man, when you're dealing with this in the world, now that we see it's happening to everybody else, they had access to us to the back door. It's like having dope at the back door, man. When you got dope right outside in the back, it's like you ain't got to worry about shit. You don't really own nothing. And so when you have access to someone who can give you all of this energy in any form or fashion, Most High gave them that. They gave them that. Let me check my back out. gave them that. And so, excuse me, cannibalism, you know, they did a lot of things. You know, they used babies as alligator bait. I mean, now we're starting to see, it's like, no, nobody was listening to us when we was telling them that that shit was happening, you know? That Muslims were just having their way with figuring out the human body and shit. Cooking niggas already. But now we see it's going on as a whole. It's even in operations and businesses. Only thing we can do as a whole, as a niggas, is to be able to boycott and just don't mess with none of that. You're not even supposed to be eating their foods anyways, because that's what's giving you the parasites. And even though we got to go in their store to get the fruits, berries, and the melons and stuff, because we're not really supporting our farms yet, we're going to do that once we get into our celibacy, our semen retention. You know, that's where our light is at. That's what they truly attack us on. When we get kind of lackadaisical, we're low on our light. That means we're wasting our light. And now, but they know that we're getting a little bit fed up. So, you know, they're trying to find ways to kind of get you back into, you know, a sexual mode. I'm talking about the niggas in America. You know, the true Americans, you know. And we're not hating on nobody. We never did hate on nobody. And everybody know that. We don't have to defend ourselves in that, because we already know everybody's gaslighting and projecting their insecurities onto us right now. Because we're striving to get ourselves into a certain situation, a certain place where we already know we can thrive. We already know what we're capable of, you know. But we also know that bribery and things like that can take place within a nation of people who are still weak and wicked and able to be divided. And so just by, you know, taking time out to strengthen yourself and let everybody talk and let them run their mouth, you know, because it's like a narcissistic relationship we got with these people and with everybody else. And I'm not here to say that, you know, we should make enemies, but there's an agenda. There's a curriculum to kind of trace us back to a continent, even though we already tried that route already. We don't go backwards, you know what I mean? We only use the song and we remix the song and, you know, make a tighter beat type shit. A tighter song in the future once we remix it. That's all we do. We don't go back. And when you're dealing with a narcissistic relationship, you're gonna always be the center of the smear campaign. Black folks in America, that's what they call us, but the true Americans is really what they should say, because in the 1828 Webster's Dictionary, it says that the true Americans are the copper-colored Negroes, or niggas. But when I say copper color, they're talking about shiny motherfuckers, like niggas who got oil on and shit. Like, damn, them motherfuckers is shiny. The so-called Africans didn't know nothing about the shiny stuff yet. They didn't know nothing about shea butter and all that. We had to show them, you know. They didn't know a lot of shit. They was ashy, man. And I'm not saying that in a derogatory way, because we know and understand where we are in development. We already knew the science of the stars and shit. We kind of already seen this popping. But that's getting a little off the topic though. But however, when they seen niggas, man, we was already got the oil anointed. The Messiah people are the ones who just basically anointed with oil. The oil inside and out. The oil of the Most High, which you cultivate from Bethlehem in your center plexus, and you raise it up every chakra until it gets to the crown chakra. And you continue to do this constantly to keep yourself spiritually stronger and have more endurance. That's what we do. In America, niggas was already doing. That's why we call niggas. It's a sign. We was already calling ourselves niggas because we was doing this. We was celibate. Now, when you're dealing with pedophilia and things of that nature, for niggas, we know already. Like, nigga, we know you wrong. We judge ourselves a little bit more harsher because we already know we know better. You know, we don't go out and kind of be on everybody else as a culture. So it's not really good to kind of sit back and point the finger even at a culture who is our oppressor. You know. They were taught how to do this to us. And so now that we know and understand that, they were only taught how to do that for a certain amount of time. Whether it was 6,000 years or 200 and some years or 600 years, whatever it is, the psychological timing is up and the spiritual, you know, bondage is up now. And so now we're taking back the power, which is in the Kundalini. And that deals with celibacy. You know, they attacked the so-called leaders who had charters to teach us that we had our love in. They know we're faithists. They know we believe in the all spirit. You know, these beings always had some type of young child, you know, thing about them. Something went down with these motherfuckers. When I say something went down, they always got caught up in jail. The 14-year-olds and these people are like 50-some years old, man. You know, and that's dealing with a sexual gratification. If you don't check that, you can damn near be gay, pedophile, have a sickness of just anything lustful, animal loving. Whatever it comes to when you haven't checked that. And the same thing when it comes to the other, if you let the other two run rampant as well, the desire to want to control another mug, you know, and also the gluttony of eating anything, all that comes together at the same time. So if they find a way to put it all together, they can be gluttoning and sexing and eating the same motherfucker at the same time. Low vibratorial people, you know what I'm saying? Very low. And so, the only way to heal on this, to see our wrongs, man, is really with the celibacy. Ain't really no other way. You really can't just sit back and think you're gonna, you know, we're gonna kumbaya and come together on some shit. You know what I mean? Even if we do eat the same food and vegetations and stuff like that, we're still releasing the thing that gives us our essence, our energy, which is our kundalini, orgasmic experiences. You know, that's a spiritual experience. We don't, as men, we don't need that shit all the time. A woman is multi-orgasmic. That's your wife. When you have a wife, you can do this to her all the time, G. Especially if y'all together, brought together by the Most High. If you're not, then it's going to be unequally yoked, and then it's going to be like a lustful thing, or a toxic cluster B personality disorder type of thing. You know, so you got to be careful when it comes to that. And in the meantime, if you ain't even thinking about the wife, don't even worry about that shit. That shit ain't even, that's not even the main, that's not really shouldn't be the main forefront of what you're trying to do. The main thing is to cultivate the temple, the Most High. When you go, when you go to the temple of the Most High, you go into self. You go within. You don't go nowhere sitting in a building and let somebody tell you something. You know, you can if you're not advanced, but you're going to be easily led in the wrong direction and hard to be led in the right. So to cultivate that kundalini, you're going to be listening to the Most High. You know, and so that's pretty much the main way we got going. If we were taught to eat the wrong foods when we were little, now we can eat the right foods. It's like, yo, now we got to just deal with anyone who got the garden or the farm and eat your foods from certain individuals, as these people do. You know, when you're dealing with certain billionaires, they only get millionaires, and certain people, they only get their food from certain places. We can do the same thing, you know. And so, eating foods at the certain seasons, certain times, all of that is helping to, you know, enhance your light body while you're in the flesh. That's what you want to do, you know. Everything else, we're a little bit high vibratory. Everything else is like uncivilized and shit, really, because it's all about ruling someone, controlling someone, so much so you're trying to control them in their afterlife and shit, which is hella horrible. Because you don't want to let go. It's a cluster B personality. It's a psychological disorder. Once you pin onto that, you understand what we got going on and what we've been going up against. Let me take a sip of my little grenade. Come here, thug. Hold up. Mama, you can't eat that big ass speaker. Y'all thugging it right now, boy. Y'all thugging it right now. Thug said, what's up? Said, what's good, guys? Cultivating that kundalini, man. You already know, single attention, celibacy. It's what they should have been telling us to do. But they time up now. But it's what it is, y'all, for the future generation, for sure. Anyone who's old right now arguing with these people about these Pan-Africans and all that shit, no, man, don't care about that, man. It's about this kundalini, big dog. That's how you're gonna get off the planet, or the world, or whatever you want to call it. Hold on, thug. Call them niggas thugs, because that's what they be thugging it, bro. Yeah, the temple's on the inside. It's on the inside. You know, it pissed off to find the temple, and you got it. You got so many temples, especially as you know, if you got talents and stuff. You're feeling bored. You can go into one of these temples and get to creating and shit. If you got talent, you should really never be bored in real life. The only reason why you're bored, if you are bored, is if you're tapping into that tree of light, which is your kundalini, your sexual energy. Having orgasms, you can become bored. You won't want to do your talent that you was given. That's why the music nowadays sound like garbage a little bit, because they all in the tree. They tapped all in the tree. It's not even no good soulful music. When you hear something soulful that can damn near bring a tear to your eye, oh, I can tell you that buzz, or that one, whoever it is, they're not having sex. They're not having orgasms at that moment, for sure. At the time of those creative when they creating that tune, I guarantee you, and if they look back at it, they'll be like, damn, I really wasn't. That's right, because you was in a whole nother octave within your own self. These are realms and realities that we got. And the teachers, they'll tell us this, but they'll still be tapping into the tree. They kind of want to, you know, they're dependent on our unawareness. You know, and they kind of try to use their equality to deal with us, cuss a little bit, you know what I mean? But, you know, you ask them, like, man, you been celibate, man? You know, because that's when you know you're in that light, dude, because you sacrifice a lot of shit at that point. It's not like sacrificing animals or nothing like that. You're sacrificing the thing that the Most High gave. You're not sacrificing it, but you're sacrificing the pleasure. And you're gaining happiness. That's the whole thing. And you'll have pleasure later on. You'll know how to bring in pleasure. Because you got a lower frequency on the earth plane that relies on you to tap into that tree or tap into that energy. And once you do, it can keep you stagnant and low. You know, they don't like you being happy, man. They don't want you to be happy, even though with all the hell and turmoil and trauma and shit in the world, man, they're revealing hell on earth, things that they've been doing to us in our generations and our genes for forever. Shit. They know who we are. They know we kind and shit. You know, they just want to see us react and be all mean and mad. It's like having a good ass wife that she's so nice. You just want to see her get mean. You don't want to see that because she might kill you. You know, that's what that is. Let me break this down, bugs and little thuggies. You know. But yeah, they trying to set us up with that word FBA in a way. You know what I'm saying? We understand that we're black. We know that, all right? We know that we're black. The NOI kind of told us that we were black. That came from a false prophet, all right? All that shit came from false prophets. False prophets who are warring over our territory and over our spirits and shit. Who are sent by motherfuckers who be doing those damn rituals, those sacrificial rituals all the goddamn time. False prophets, man. That's what they are. False shepherds. False leaders. They're just false, man. Everything about them motherfuckers is false and shit, man. It's false. Everything. There's nothing they can build. They don't even show you how to cultivate the Holy Spirit, really. You know? They're not telling us. They're not telling you how to do that. Doug, get off of that. They're not telling you how to do that shit. Nobody's showing you how to cultivate the Holy Spirit, your spirit, tapping into the all spirit. It takes discipline. And if you don't want to be celibate, that could be a punishment for those who are experiencing, you know, the sexual gratification. That's their fault. If you're not willing to fix it. It can go even lower. It can get to pedophilia. It can get to past gatedom. People begging them for rights of gatedom. It's like, dude, we don't even care. That's your sexual preference. Just be modest in plain sight. Then, if you like to do that behind closed door, you have to be so hella out in the front in the door. Because men and women are not having sex on the beach. And, you know, they may do a lovey-dovey thing, but we're bringing back intimacy. You know what I'm saying? Only we can be intimate and not have an objectification towards another one. If you don't be watching porn and don't objectify another to your orgasmic experiences, and whether in your mind or even on a phone or your video or some shit. You don't look at it as people no more. It gets lower, and once it gets lower than that, now these motherfuckers can become food to you damn near. Objects, your predator instincts, they come into play, you know. If you got predator instincts, your predator instincts can come from either a mammal type of thinking or a reptile. Reptile could be either or. It's the same way. They could be. People always say reptile, like they're bad and shit. There's vegetation reptiles more than there are meat eaters. But you got insectoids, people who's in the insectoid thoughts. They do it a little different. When you're down in insectoid, man, you'll eat the same motherfucker. When you're dealing with someone who's in an insect mindset, that's a pedophile mindset, y'all. Insectoids. You okay, baby? Insectoids. They got you kind of ready for the insectoids. Like with the way everybody look, like the predator. You know what I'm saying? I want you to believe that the insectoid looks like the predator when they come to the game. I want you to be like, oh, the insectoid is the predator. But in real life, the insectoid is your brain, your mindset that you're tapped into, that these spirits will be able to get you to do all these hellish and devilish things. You know, an insect will eat another insect, the same one. You know, when you're at that point, they'll have sex with the same insect and eat that motherfucker. Yeah. Just let you know what you're dealing with. What you're dealing with. You're dealing with someone who thinks like an insect. Not the reptile. You're dealing with someone who thinks like an insect. Like an arachnid almost. Like an arachnid type of mindset. Arachnids eat each other, G. Like, what is an arachnid? Yeah, we're dealing with that type of shit. We're dealing with arachnid type of thinking people. They have the God brain, you know what I'm saying? They have a mammalian brain. They have the reptilian brain. They also have an insectoid brain and an arachnid brain. That's a spider type of thinking. That's a scorpion type of thinking. Dealing with that type of shit. That's what happened when you don't cultivate your kundalini, man. You'll be going down and down, and you're supposed to be up. You're at the highest level. You'll be having a body. This is like a spiritual cluster B personality disorder. Like when you're in the flesh and someone is like grown or some shit, and when they're grown, but they seem like they're like little bitty ass kids and shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like real little kids. Like they have temper tantrums and all of that stuff. That's a cluster B personality disorder. They're like 7 in like a super grown up ass body. Well, in the spirit game, it's the same way. Motherfuckers have a physical body, meaning that they have a humanoid body, meaning that they have all the brains. They have the God brain, the mammalian brain, the reptilian brain, and the insectoid brain. But they choose not to cultivate every level of their development. And so hence they'll descend down into their insectoid brains. And so with any of the leaders talking about that shit. Shit, what Bobby Hammond just say something about that, nigga. Like, nigga, you got an insectoid brain. Bobby Hammond, you should be talking about that one. What's my nigga name that gets down with all the new information? Bobby, or not Bobby Valentine. Phil Valentine, nigga. We need to be chopping it up, nigga. You already know. Tell us the future, Phil. God damn it, since you already knew the earth was flat and shit. Or concave, or whatever you want to say. With your judgment. You know, man, people still having sex, big dog. That's all it is. Hey, watch out. Turn your butt around. Turn your butt around. What the heck is going on with y'all? What the hell is going on? What's going on? Okay, so we're almost going to be at that half-hour mark, and I'm going to hop up off here at the half-hour mark. I just wanted to jump in right before the half-hour mark, man, because that's where we're going to pop off at. But yeah, celibacy is so-called people who are, at this stage is required because pedophiles and people who are over-sexualized. People who are over-sexualized, that's going to be their punishment. You'll see, that's going to separate the real from the fake, if they can actually do it. We'll know. The Most High show you if they're doing it or not. The energy is self-explanatory. You're like, oh yeah, that motherfucker ain't cultivating. You know what I'm saying? At least he's trying. And, you know, Most High rewards you every time. Every month you'll get rewarded if you're doing something, if you're dealing with celibacy or semen retention. you get rewarded. Every time the light gets up to the crown, or boom, there's an inner cosmic orbit, and it's like, boom, you get some type of download, some type of feel-good thing, something. You know, it's like a video game. Yeah, that's it, y'all. I love y'all little bitty butts. It slapped me in the lip, and you're like, we're lifting doves over here. Lifting a dove. You all right, Dougie? You all right, Dougie? Whew. Oh, ain't something else. Lift the dove up over here. We're doing shoulder shrugs with the doves. Come on, Dougie, dove. Tell him 2 tons. He weighs the size of the earth. Oh, he's so heavy. Oh, he's so heavy. Oh, look at him. Oh. They love it when I goof off with their little asses and shit. That's why they on top of the phone. Goofing. You just like that, don't you? Now I'm just playing for the rest of them. Playing for the rest of them. For the rest of the live now and shit. Look at them. Look at them. They all want to play. Look at them. Don't they look like they want to play? Like little big kids and shit. They want to play. They like that shit. That's because the UVs is out, man. We like the UVs, man. You know? Yeah. So, anyways, though, just gonna wrap it up about the whole little Gautama. Gautama is America. The name of Buddha is America. Buddha is an enlightened one. That's who he is. You know what I'm saying? The land of the kinky hair, spirally hair, little motherfucker. You see that nappy ass shit? Snappy hair. Nappy, kinky, woolly hair. Just like the cotton. Just like the cotton we be picking. Oh, cotton picking. They let us all this nigga for it. They like, well, aren't you? What? A nigga? Y'all something else with that shit. Hey, alright, so we wrapping it up. I love y'all. Gautama is the land of the Most High's people, basically. That's America. That's the land where only the Most High dwell with everyone. You know, that's the land of the talent, the land of all spirit, who is all known. Gautama is America, just so we know. Just to wrap it up. Gautama Bay, that's a clue. Gautama Buddha, you know, that's another clue because he had a coin that was found in Michigan somewhere. That's our spot. So Owaspi says that the Gautama is the land where, you know, the copper-colored race, or niggas, basically, is at. The true American. The real American. Alright? So, I love y'all. I'm about to hop up off of here. Thanks for joining in. And we all say peace, love, soul, prosperity, happiness, you know what I'm saying, joy, and just get back in tune with natural organic heavens. Get out their subjected heavens that they're trying to get niggas to go to, you know, upon sleeping and all of that shit, you know what I mean, your dream realm, all no, that. We're organic, we're naturally organic people. We're going to do organic, natural things, and that's what's going to naturally organic line us up with the natural organic Holy Spirit. The great mama and the great father. Alright, so everything's dealing with, you know, organically. We don't deal with their little, you know, set organizations. Because they got what? The Israelites got thousands of motherfuckers. I seen them did a parade, like thousands of motherfuckers and shit. From them thousands, you mean thousands, man. Them motherfuckers couldn't come up with $100 a piece and we just gonna get a chunk of land. Pretty much like right. So when we get it, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it when we get the land. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. The only way you gonna get on it is if you cultivating that Kundalini, getting right and exact. You know, getting the light to the crown chakra. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way we're gonna do it. All right. I love y'all. I'll go to the next one. Ding ding, ding ding, dun 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 dun.